Long ago, in a distant kingdom shrouded by deserts and ancient forests, an unusual rumor began to spread about a mysterious old woman who wandered from village to village, studying the stars and reading the patterns of sand. No one knew if she was a sorceress, a wandering spirit, or simply a lonely traveler. What people knew, however, was that she was different, and people often fear what they do not understand. One day, beaten and exhausted, she appeared before the gates of the royal palace. When the guards allowed her inside, she threw herself at the feet of the king. "Your Majesty," she pleaded, "I am an elderly woman with no family or home. I earn my bread reading the stars, yet the people call me a fraud and a witch. They strike me in the streets, chase me away, and accuse me of curses I never cast. I beg you, spare me." The king was a stern but fair ruler. Outraged by her suffering, he sent his herald to every marketplace, declaring, "Whoever harms this woman will face punishment harsher than they can imagine." Days later, the old woman returned to the palace, this time calmer, even smiling. She bowed before the king and said, "I have come to repay your kindness, sire." The king chuckled. "What gift could a ruler possibly need?" she insisted. "What I offer will make you wiser than any king who has walked the earth." Curiosity tugged at him. "Show me." The woman reached into a woven palm leaf basket and revealed a single, enormous fish unlike any the king had ever seen. Its scales shimmered with faint silver light. "Cook this fish yourself," she warned. "Do not share it. Anyone who tastes even a bite will steal part of the wisdom it grants." The king dismissed it as nonsense, but accepted the gift out of courtesy. When she left, he stared at the fish, wondering if there might be truth in her words. Just to be safe, he called for a faithful servant, a young man named Kevin who had grown up in the palace as an orphan. "Prepare this fish," the king ordered, "and if you take even a crumb, I will have your head." Kevin bowed. "As you command, my king." Yet when he began cleaning and cooking the strange fish, a warm fragrance filled the kitchen. Against all reason, his hunger overwhelmed him. "Just one small taste," he thought. "No one will notice." He ate a tiny morsel and at once felt a tingling in his ears, as though the world around him had sharpened. Before he could make sense of it, he heard a voice say, "What a marvelous smell. Perhaps I can steal a bite." Kevin spun around and saw nothing but a cat sitting by the doorway. "Impossible," he whispered. "Did I truly hear that?" Startled but fearing the king more than the truth, he finished cooking the fish and brought it to the royal dining hall. The king feasted on it joyfully. Afterward, he mounted his horse and ordered Kevin to accompany him on a ride through the nearby forest. As they rode beneath towering trees, the king's horse suddenly murmured to Kevin's horse, "I wish he would walk faster. My legs ache from inactivity." To which Kevin's horse replied, "Careful what you wish for. If I ran at full speed, my rider would bounce off and break every bone." Kevin and the king heard every word. Kevin tried to contain his laughter, but the king noticed immediately. "What is so amusing?" he demanded. Kevin lied quickly, "Just a memory, sire." But the king grew suspicious. Did Kevin understand the animals? Did he disobey the order? He began to test him. Later, during lunch at the palace, two small birds flew into the hall carrying a golden strand of hair between them. When one dropped it, the strand struck the floor with a sound like ringing metal. The moment Kevin heard the birds speaking about where they found it, he flinched so hard that he dropped the king's water cup. The king stood. "You heard that. Now confess you ate from the fish." Kevin knelt, trembling. "Forgive me. Tasted only the smallest piece." The king raised his sword to strike him down until his eyes fell on the golden hair glimmering on the floor. Its beauty was unlike anything he had seen, and he lowered his blade. "Find the woman whose hair this belongs to," he declared. "If you succeed, your life is spared. If you fail, your head will hang at the gates." Kevin was given food and coins, and was sent into the wilderness. Kevin wandered for days through barren plains, rugged cliffs, and endless valleys. When hunger and despair nearly defeated him, he stumbled upon a campfire left by hunters. A sudden gust toppled a burning branch onto a nearby ant colony, and the frantic creatures scrambled to save their larvae. Without hesitation, Kevin rushed forward, throwing sand over the flames until the fire was extinguished. The ant queen emerged and said, clearly speaking words he could understand, "You saved us." One day, we shall repay you. Kevin continued his journey until he reached the distant seashore. 3 fishermen with a small boat asked why he traveled alone so far from civilization. When he mentioned the princess with the golden hair, their eyes gleamed with greed. "Come with us," they said. "We know the way." But once out at sea, they struck him, stole his coin pouch, and tossed him overboard. He sank into the dark waters until a drifting plank appeared. Clinging to it, he washed ashore hours later. Exhausted, he collapsed on the sand. Maybe the quest was hopeless. Then a harsh screech split the air. 2 eagles were fighting high above him. One plummeted and struck the ground near Kevin, wounded badly. The eagle gasped, "Fetch the herbs growing near those rocks." Kevin rushed, gathered the strange luminous plants, and squeezed their sap into the eagle's beak. Before long, the creature stood tall and strong again. "You saved my life," the eagle said. "Tell me your story." When Kevin explained his quest, the eagle replied, "The princess you seek is not across the sea. She lives atop the Silver Mountain, 2 days from here, but beware, the forest surrounding it is infested with giant insects." Kevin swallowed his fear. "Must go. Then I shall guide you from the sky," the eagle said. With the bird circling overhead, Kevin reached the mountain safely. The kingdom at its summit was bright with silver gates and shining towers. He requested an audience with the ruler and explained his mission. The Silver King listened and said, "My daughter, Princess Aurelia, is coveted by many. Whoever wishes to escort her home must first bring me a necklace made from 100 emeralds, each pierced and polished. You have 3 days." Kevin left the palace in despair. How could any human survive the monstrous creatures of the forest long enough to gather even 1 emerald? But as he wandered hopelessly among the trees, a familiar voice called, "Are you not the man who saved our colony?" It was the Ant Queen with thousands of her kin marching behind her. "We live throughout this forest," she said. "Let us help you." For 2 days, the ants searched every crevice for emeralds. The workers carried them while others drilled perfect holes using sharp mandibles. By the 3rd day, they presented Kevin with a magnificent emerald necklace. The Silver King was stunned. Not even spirits of the mountains could craft such a jewel. "You have proven yourself worthy." That night, in the great hall, Princess Aurelia appeared. Her golden hair glowed like sunlight on water. Kevin was struck silent, and she too stared at him, captivated by his gentle features and quiet strength. The next morning, she set out with him toward his homeland. As they traveled, Kevin told her everything: his childhood as an orphan, the enchanted fish, the talking animals, and the golden strand that began his journey. Aurelia listened with shining eyes. "You should stay in my kingdom," she said softly. "Marry me there." "I am only a servant," he replied. "A man is measured by his deeds, not his title." When they reached Kevin's homeland, the king saw Aurelia and became consumed by jealousy and greed. He ordered Kevin to fetch fruit from the royal garden. Secretly, he sent a guard to kill him. The guard stabbed Kevin in the back among the orange trees. Aurelia heard his cry, rushed to the garden, and poured the last drops of the miraculous plant sap into his mouth. Kevin opened his eyes, healed and more handsome than before. Before they could escape, the king confronted them with his guards. He demanded the magical herbs, hoping to restore youth to himself. When Aurelia tried to explain, there was nothing left. He accused her of lying and ordered a soldier to wound him so he could test the herbs. But Kevin had used the very last of them. No miracle came. The king died at their feet. The guards rushed to attack until an old maid appeared screaming, "Stop! Kevin bears the king's birthmark. He is the late king's secret younger brother, his true heir." The guards lowered their weapons and knelt. "Long live King Kevin!" Kevin became ruler, and soon after, he married Princess Aurelia. Their reign brought prosperity, peace, and a future filled with children whose green eyes shone like emeralds. And thus ends the tale, a reminder that kindness, courage, and a faithful heart can turn even the humblest servant into a king. And so we have reached the end of the story. I hope you liked it. Subscribe to the channel and see you in another story.